Schooling and working can be extremely terrible, frustrating, time consuming, and worst of all, it could give you that kind of breakdown you may never recover from. Hold on, I'm not trying to scare you or anything because I believe if you plan well, you could also go through it successfully. But chances are you might end up doing well at one part and not doing well at the other part, or you may probably do well at both ends or mess both ends up. Either ways, well, this is my own view, but then let's see. Hello and welcome back to Do You with Isinam. If today happens to be the first time you're watching my video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Yes, and turn on the post notification so as to be alerted anytime I post a new video. Yeah, as we already have in the description, I'm going to share my experience working and schooling at the same time in one of the universities in Ghana, and I hope you learned something from it. So without much ado, let's get right into the video. So like I was saying, combining work and schooling is no easy joke. Schooling in Ghana is very expensive, especially in the universities, depending on the kind of university you go to, either public or private, whichever way, it's still expensive. At least people go to school with certain aims, visions, and aspirations in mind, and at the end of the day, they want to achieve that. Unfortunately, most of them don't get to achieve these things because of a lot of factors, including combining work with schooling. So basically, I'm going to touch on combining work with schooling. Now, for me, I was schooling and working at the same time when I started diploma. Unfortunately, it was extremely hard and tough on me. At a point, I even wanted to quit school because it was frustrating. It was like serious, messy. Like, I don't even have the right word to use to describe that. What happened was that from where I was staying at the time to where I work was quite a distance. I had to pick about 2 vehicles before, or 2 cars before I get to my destination, and it took approximately 2 hours to get to my destination due to traffic. Yes. Now, after work, which is around 3 p.m. in the evening, I had to go back to school. From work to school was about 2.5 hours. Yes, and it's still because of traffic. You get to school, sit down for lectures, and you are extremely exhausted and tired. You don't even know what to do to yourself. You sit down, and then after about 2 to 3 credit hours, your lecture is over and you have to get back home. Now, all you're thinking of is to get home and have a good bath and sleep. Yes. Now, from school to where I was staying was quite a distance. Because it was very late, mostly it takes 30 to 45 minutes to get home. Now, when I do get home, which is around 10 p.m., almost 11 p.m., I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and probably I have assignments to do. I need to prepare for the kids I was teaching as at that time, the next day, and all of that. So all these things come into factor: distance, the timing, the work that goes into it. And I'm basically gone even before I say Jack. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I don't end up learning. I wake up very early the next day trying to prepare for the kids, forgetting myself. And then the routine continues. So the only moments I get as free moments are either weekends. That's if we don't have extra classes with the kids. Yes, or probably vacation. And of course, there'll be vacation classes. So it was a big deal. It was so frustrating and tiring. The distance and then the work itself being a factor. Because you're no longer learning for you alone. You're learning for people who are preparing for their final exams as well. Yes, and the kids were super smart. So you have to know what to say at what time before your head gets cut off. Anyway, so those were a major problem. So the first thing you have to consider when you want to work and school at the same time is to take into consideration how far your work is from school. and how far your school is from home. That's the first thing you have to take into consideration. So when you get to know how far your work is from school and how far your school is from home, you have it sorted out. You find out, hey, with this timing, how long will it take me to leave from work to school? Can I get to school before lecture starts and stuff like that? When you're working full time, chances are you are either an evening or a weekend student. Yes, so if you're an evening student, then you have to really check what time or what you have to really check the distance you would take, the distance between your work and your school, and the distance between your school and the distance between your school and your home. Yes, that's the first thing you have to take into consideration. So the second thing you have to also take into consideration is which one works for you best. Yes, you've decided to work, or better still, you're working, but then you want to add school to it. Which one works for you best? Can you make it in the evening, or you want to make it in the during the weekends? Which one will work for you best? So you should know the one that will work for you best, and then align yourself to it. For me, I chose evening because of my music ministry and other related factors, including the TV show I do host. I do host it on weekends. So like, if I had taken weekends, it would be very stressful on me. And then I wanted time to do those extra stuffs on weekends. Yeah, that was why I opted for evening. So after work, I know that I'm going to school. But then I didn't take the distance into consideration when I started my diploma. It was after the diploma that I had to sit down and rework things out. Not because I failed the diploma or anything like that. No, I didn't fail. But because I felt like I could have done better than what I did. Yeah, so that was how come I had to settle on the distance as well. Now, the third thing you're supposed to consider is to structure your work pattern. So what do you do in a whole day? What do you do at work? What is required of you? After doing what is required of you, what extra stuffs do you do? Put all these things into places. If possible, set alarm and reminders for yourself so that you don't get caught up in certain things you don't want to be caught up in. Because like it or not, there are times you could even get glued to your phone, and then for over 3 hours you are still behind your phone. Yes, and that's not because you are even doing anything like superficial or something. You're just caught up in the moment, reading chats after chats, looking at pictures after pictures. Before you know, 3 hours is done. Yes, so set alarms for yourself. Structure your working times and periods so that you know that, okay, after this, I have to do this. After this, I have to do that. Right after that, I need to go to school and learn or do that or do that. In that order, you are able to keep to a particular pattern. And then when you when you keep that pattern, it helps you organize yourself and as well meet your deadlines, and then do what is required of you as a student as well. In that case, like, you don't get stuff piled up on you that you'll be sitting there and you'll be like, hey, I've not even read this particular slides. Oh, I'm supposed to do this particular assignment. Hey, my boss said I should do this. Oh, you see, so structure yourself at work and at school so that they wouldn't collide with each other, and that you would also have your peace of mind. Now, the fourth and final thing I'm going to talk about is communication. Well, this is not a relationship talk, but communication is very important. You can't afford to break down. You can't afford to. The last time I felt sick, I was admitted at the hospital. Yes. And I was even scared closing my eyes because I felt like I was going to die. That was how painful a breakdown is. So you can't afford to go through that stress. It is extremely depressing, frustrating, and stuff like that. It's so bad. Why communication? You know between you and your God that, okay, you have 2 weeks to prepare for exams. You have exams to prepare for, right? Fine. Your boss is human. Your boss will understand that Because before you came to the work or when you had a contract, you told him, oh, I'm working and I'm schooling at this. I want to work, but I'm schooling at the same time. And my schooling or my classes are in the evening or my lectures are in the evening. You've made him aware of that. Even if not so, probably you were working with them before you started schooling. So you told them that, oh, okay, I have now started schooling, and so they are aware of it. Now, if your boss is not aware, that's a different story altogether. But the mere fact that they are aware should give you the opportunity to be able to communicate with them at whichever point in time. Now, communication is key because, for instance, you're supposed to prepare for an exams, and then you have a lot of work on your desk. If it's 2 weeks you need to prepare for the exams, that's before the exams, take 1 week and thoroughly deal with your work stuff. Then the next week, before thoroughly dealing with the work, like with your work stuff, let your boss know prior to time or ahead of time that we'll be starting exams from this time to that time. 2 weeks is for exams preparation. Could you please allow me to take 1 week out of that 2 weeks to prepare? Communicate. You will not die. Let him know you are human. You will go through stress. You will go through stress. You would like be depressed. You would be tired. Everything some. Yes. But the best you can do is to seek permission. Plead with him. Plead with her. They will understand that after all, you are what? A student. But then if you want to take everything as a Superman, then at the end of the day, my brother, my sister, you are doing yourself the harm. For lack of a better word, you are doing yourself harm. Yes. So let them know that this is it. I have exams to write. Please, I need some time to myself. Give me 2 weeks at most to prepare. If not, give me a week to prepare. They will understand. Even if they don't give you a week and it is a day, they will understand and at least give you something, like some break. You back. Yes. So that's the last thing I would want to talk about. So whenever you find yourself in such dilemma or situation, seek permission, ask, communicate, talk. Your bosses, they are not magicians. They wouldn't know you have exams. Even if you squeeze your face from the moon to the sun, they wouldn't know until you communicate it to them. I hope this will help you when you're considering combining working and then schooling at the same time. This is like a bonus I would want to add to it. Now, if you are a regular student and you are going through like this education system, please, if not for anything, for the love of you, not for the love of God, for the love of you, try and then get acquainted with a skill or two, because after all, you are a regular student. Probably you are in the hostel somewhere. Your parents are paying your fees and everything, so to an extent, you are a bit comfortable. So use that little time, the small time or chances you would have to learn a skill or two. It will help you because you're not working. So now look at when you're supposed to work and when you're not supposed to work and learn and stuff like that. Sometimes you are, for a whole day, you may even have lectures at noon and that will be it. How about the rest of the day, like the morning, from that morning to when you have the lectures and stuff like that? Try and acquire a skill for yourself. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something. I hope you were inspired to do something. So please, if you loved what I just did, if you still love me and you love what I'm doing, kindly subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, leave a comment in the comment section, and turn on your post notifications. Until my next video, I love you. Don't forget to do you, and do you. Bye bye.